Hello everybody and welcome back once again for today's video of DIY investing. Some of you guys may recognize this chart. This is the all-time graph of Bitcoin. For today's video, I wanted to dive in and look at this current cycle that we're in and compare it to the last bull run. I think that it's really important to find correlations between the last two cycles and apply them to how it can be used in the future of deciding where Bitcoin's price could potentially go in the next cycle. If you guys like this video and find it helpful, do myself a favor by leaving a like, comment, and subscribing to this channel for more updates. If you guys want more awesome analysis like this, click the invitation link in the description of this video and there you're going to get access to my Discord server. Anyways guys, with all that being said, let's jump right in the video today. So to start off this video, let's take a look at the current cycle in Bitcoin. Now, obviously, if you guys have seen this chart by watching my channel, you'll know that this is the all-time graph. Each one of these blue lines represents the halvening that takes place, and really each bull market starts once this red line is broken. Once the descending resistance is broken, we start our new bull cycle, and so we did break from our last bearish cycle. Obviously, if you've been hiding under a rock, you might not know that. But if you've been around in cryptocurrency, you'll know that the new cycle has started. There is still some doubts, but in my opinion, the cycle is definitely started based off of this pattern. Now, what I mean by this, and this takes us to a shorter time frame. Now, with this current cycle, we did just start a brand new one. What I wanted to point out with this is a couple things. I wanted to talk about my Elliott wave count, and then I wanted to show you how this cycle applies to the last one and some similarities and differences between them. Now, let's start off with my Elliott wave count. Elliott wave count goes like this. This was our 1 wave, this was our 3 wave, and now we still have one more final 5 wave impulse to come. Now, the thing about this final 5 wave impulse is the fact that it can take us to this lower high, or it can take us all the way to this all-time high mark. And that's really where I'm going to be watching it to end. If I drop it to a shorter time frame, if I drop it in here a little bit closer, you're going to start to see how the Elliott wave count plays out. This was our 1 of the 3, this was our 3 of the 3, and then this was our 5. Let's make these a little smaller. Right, so 1 of the 3, 1 of the 1 of the 3, 3 of the 3 of the 3, 5 of the 3 of the 3, and then we have the final 5 of the 3. And so that takes us to current day values, retracing into the 4 before we do finally start that final 5 wave impulse up. And so this is the way that my Elliott wave count goes. Once we do finally finish out this 5 wave, that's only going to be the 1 wave. So all of this is going to be a 1 before we start the 3 wave, right? And I'm not trying to draw out the entirety of my Elliott wave analysis. I'm just showing you guys where the trend stands right now. Now, why is this important? And I'm going to show you guys how it applies to the last cycle. Now, if you guys have been watching me for a while, you'll know that I've been into cryptocurrency for a while now. I bought my first Bitcoin back in here at about 450 bucks. Had the opportunity to trade and invest into the entire last cycle, and I had the pleasure to stay around for the bear market and learn all of those valuable lessons as well. What I've learned from the last cycle is the fact that there is a significant amount of money to be made inside of these crypto markets. Now, not only that, but I wanted to say that these markets are going to surprise the shit out of you. You're going to think that you have it all figured out, and then the market's going to dump 50%. You might think you have it figured out, and then you're going to have all of your entries waiting to get filled, and then the market leaves you in the dust as it bounces 100% and starts going more parabolic than you thought. That's the way that Bitcoin works, and this cycle is going to be more parabolic than anything we've seen up to this point. Now, if you guys look at here, let's remove everything. This, from the cycle high of the last move, was at the very start of 2014. We didn't break all-time high until 3 years later. Roughly 3 years later, just under 3 years later, we broke all-time high. And so this cycle was a lot longer than the last one. Now, from the high of the move to the bottom of capitulation was roughly the same amount of time between this cycle and the most recent one that we just had, right? But the difference was we accumulated for about 280 days right here, and then we had a very slow degree of trend that increased before we ended up breaking all-time high. And so this was about a 3-year period that we accumulated here. before we broke all-time high. Whereas the current cycle that we're in, we're already close to that all-time high mark. We're probably about right here in the cycle. And it's only happened over the course of a few months. And so I wanted to point out this pattern because it's going to be much different than the previous cycles that we've had thus far. And I think that it's important to pay attention to that when it comes to actually taking your positions in the market. So what I want to point out here is the fact that based off of our Elliott wave count, it looked like this. We had our 1, we had our 3, and then we had our final 5. The final 5 wave took us to the all-time high mark before we had our last sell-off, and then we went into the new cycle. So this would have been our 1 of the 3, 3 of the 3, and then our 5 of the 3. And then that would have taken us to our 1 of the 5, 3 of the 5, you don't see the retrace, and then 5 of the 5. And that would have been our Elliott wave count for the last cycle. Now, I'm not trying to go into in-depth about that. I'm just trying to show you guys how the two cycles compare. So based off the last cycle, the end of the 1 wave took us to all-time high mark, right? And so this was our 1 wave. This entire move was our 1. And then our 3 wave took us up to 5K, I believe. Let's check. Yep. Our 3 wave took us to 5K. And then our 5 wave took us from 3K all the way to 20K, right? And that's the way that the cycle's working thus far. Only difference is it's taking a lot less time to finish out this 1 wave. And so that takes us to our current values. And I want to show you guys how it applies currently. So with that being said, if we can finish out this 5 wave at all-time high and retrace, that would complete our 1 wave, right? And then after that, this entire move would be the 1. We'd have a short-term retrace before we started the 3 wave. Now the 3 wave is generally the most impulsive, but with Bitcoin you see the 5 of the 5 being the most impulsive. And so this 3 wave, I wouldn't be surprised if it brought us up to like 50K, something like that. It could take us down to like 32K. I'm not exactly sure yet. But then really the big magical explosion, in my opinion, is going to happen in the 5 wave. That's going to be the real big explosive one. I would assume that this 3 wave could potentially take us 50, 100K, maybe even higher than that, guys. I'm not here really trying to show you guys exact price targets, exactly how high this thing can go, because I don't know. Nobody does, honestly. My target for Bitcoin is 200K in the next cycle, and I think that it's definitely going to hit that. And in fact, I think it could very dramatically surpass that. And so it's just something to watch out for. Really why I'm showing you guys this video is the fact that many people thought they missed out. They saw people buy the bottom in Bitcoin, they saw it start taking off. When it hit to all-time high mark, they thought, okay, well, I missed my chance to buy cheap, and they didn't get into it. And then watch what happened from all-time high. That was where the real parabolic movement started. I mean, this is like 90 times bigger than what happened down here. And so even if you didn't buy down in these low values in here, maybe 6K, maybe even where we're at now, even if you didn't buy down in here, you guys, the big picture trend is still so small compared to where we're going. This 3 wave is going to be so explosive, and the 5 wave is probably going to be even bigger than that. And so if this 1 wave doesn't tell you by now that just buy, just get into your positions and buy and hold, because this is going to be a long picture trend. That's why I make this video, to show you guys, you don't have to be a top analyst to make money in the market. In fact, if you just have a plan in place and you trade it and you hold the big picture trend, you're going to be making way more money than the average person was anyways. Even if you're a top trader, a lot of top traders can be out-traded just by simply trading the trend. What I mean by that is sometimes you can overcomplicate things, and you could have made way more money just buying and holding for the long term than you could have trying to trade and make money that way. Now, if you're a good analyst, you're going to be making more money day trading because it is more profitable. I'm not going to sit here and say that if you're a good trader, you're going to make less money by just trading than you are just buying and holding, because that's not the case. If you're a successful trader, you will make more profit. But I can say it's significantly harder to do than just buying and holding the long picture trend. Now I do day trade, but I want to say is my main strategy has to do with big picture trend analysis, and you guys know that. And that's why I wanted to make this YouTube video, is because I don't have to sit here and be an expert technical analyst. I don't have to sit here and be an expert technical analyst, but I can show you guys the strategies that worked for me in the past and show you guys how I'm applying them to the current trend and how you can do the same in order to profit. A lot of people in the market aren't really looking to be professional analysts. They don't care about that. What they do is they watch my videos to get a little bit of an understanding as to where the bottom could be, where we could expect a retrace, and where they could be looking to accumulate more positions. And that's really all I have for this channel. I'm not sitting here trying to give you guys exact stop losses, entries, or anything like that. I'm trying to show you guys the overall plan that I have. I'm showing you guys the dedication that it takes to actually being able to profit inside of a market. And I'm showing you guys that it's not actually as hard as many of you guys will make it out to believe. A lot of it is having patience. A lot of it is waiting until the right time to maximize profit potential. And then a lot of it from there is just more or less waiting for your plan to develop and waiting for that trade to really progress into what it's going to be. And so this was the video I had for you guys. Wanted to quickly talk about some topics that I've been thinking about recently. Remember guys, this is a big picture trend that we're going to be writing here. My opinion that this thing is going to last at least the next 2 to 3 years. And so we've got a long-term thing that's unfolding right now. And so don't get too caught up with the way things are don't get too caught up with how it's developing thus far. Be more excited about it than anything. If you're somebody that feels left out that you didn't buy down in here, you can't really go wrong buying. Anything below this all-time high mark, in my opinion, is going to be a steal with Bitcoin. And I think that's going to be the case with institutional investors as well. Because this bottom, even though we accumulated significantly less amount of time than we did back in the day in 2015, the cycle has been more parabolic out of those lows, and that shows that there is now institutional money entering this market. We need less time to consolidate before a bigger price expansion. It just means that there's more money in this market. And so guys, get a plan in place, get some entries filled, and really look to optimize the next 2 to 3 years of this cycle, because it's going to be very profitable. And it's something that I've seen in my own life that I can tell you guys has worked drastically for me. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video. I will catch you in the next one. As always, peace out.